Here in Burma, halfway through the 1st of July turn, the Allies have made some impressive progress. They've positioned themselves defensively facing the, what is that, the 15th Division? 15th Division, 31st. They still maintained a supply, a defense of the Imphal Road. They moved their headquarters from Dimapur up here. Already got the Imphal one here. We also have the supply extender there, so we're going to push down further. And speaking of pushing down further, they managed to make an attack. Actually, the Japanese got very lucky here by not being completely destroyed. They made an attack at good odds against that town, which is one of the victory point locations. And also on a clear route over to Mandalay. Not that the Brits are going to be able to make it to Mandalay in this game. More exciting, the Chindits and the Chinese managed to link up. The Chindits pulled actually everybody out of the city that was blockading the rail link and started pulling out of their clearing. Now, the Chindits might become ineffectual at any point, which means basically they work great as garrison troops, but not as anything else. So it seemed like a good time to get them out of there now that they had the link cleared and get the supply that they were holding into use. What's really fantastic is that supply was used by the Chinese army to try to finish off this stack. Now, the Chinese army is such poor quality at this point that they weren't able to do that, but they've got it down to one unit now, which is disordered, out of supply, and out of ammo. There isn't much left in the way. That's a headquarters. That's it. So, of course, there's a unit coming up here. So it's quite likely that the Chinese are going to get the major victory point of Midikina. I don't know. Anyway, the weather cleared. That's the biggie that happened there. July 5th in Burma. This is right at the end, right after the Japanese turn. They did not do anything significant pulling out of with the 31st Division, getting supplies over, except they managed to finally push the Chindits out of Montin. Cost them 2 units to push one Chindit out. Attacking's painful here, but they've got to get control of that roadway getting up to put any threat on the Chinese forces. And they'll actually be quite a significant threat with the 31st Division pushing and feeding troops over. The risk to them right now is the little amounts of troops in defending Midikina. I mean, I'm sacrificing units, putting march strategic units in the way just to try to slow things down, but those can be overrun. So there's just no good answer to it. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be able to be held. Halfway through July 5th in Burma, and we're seeing the Allies already took the last significant victory point space over near Imphal. And actually the way to Mandalay is open right now. There's an artillery and a headquarters in their way. The only difficulty is getting supplies moving in that direction. But they may be able to put a small force which could threaten capturing Mandalay. That might increase the draws, though, from the Cup of Doom, all the dead Japanese units. I think there's rules that allow them to come back quicker if Mandalay is threatened, or Bamo. Speaking of which, over on the really actually more important front, the Chinese pursued and killed that one unit. They moved forward and attacked the one that was blocking the road. They didn't kill the one that's in the mountains. So right now the way to Midikina is also open, but there are a couple of units in that area that are going to get up there and help defend it. this guy on the road. And we got the guy in the mountains who can try to limp his way back. Chindits are trying to make their way back. I don't know if they're going to make it or not. It's hard to survive in this world. They had their decimation roll, which means they take any combat losses, they're out of the game. Well, yeah, if combat happens, they die as part of that combat. And also, they must pay for supply from now on, which means they have to get back and trace supply. I could have gotten, I think, those donkeys up a little faster, but it seems like it's worth trying to save them. Supplies right now, not in great shape. The road is moving quite far, but on the Chinese front, the supplies are low but not bad, because they only attacked with one unit this time. But over in the Imphal sector, they're out. I mean, completely out. There's units that are low in supply because they've drained everything. However, they did capture some, and we'll see if they can get enough to get some momentum going forward.